Hey, today is February the 9th, and it's a Thursday, almost done with the week. It's been a fast week, which I've been grateful for, just because I'm excited about the weekend. Saturday is the conference I've been telling you about, and every day I've thought I need to make a video and just remind everybody, and it's just been crazy busy, so today is the day that I'm doing that. Yes, I'm driving, but I am going to do it safe, and I promise that there will be no body injured in the making of this video. But I wanted to stop and just remind you that on Saturday from 11 to 1 there is a little conference at the Serenity Counseling Center in Botetourt County, and we are going to snack and we are going to chat about the importance of loving ourselves. So important, and especially as women, we just don't do a good job of loving ourselves, and so we're just going to chat about that a little bit. I am super excited about the people that have inboxed me or asked me questions and have RSVP'd either to me or to Angie, the counselor there. So just please continue to do that, so we just kind of have an idea of how many people are coming. I thought a lot this week about something, and I thought I would just share that real fast with you. I kept thinking, I would love to be able to stand up in front of all of you Saturday and say that I've done great. Since my very first video, all of that advice I've been giving all of you, I've been following, but not necessarily true. I have not done a good job loving myself every day. Last week was hard. I've been through some things, and when I say some things, I've been through some hard things. And my son, the one I told you that's been fighting depression, he was given an in-home counselor, and for anybody that knows anything about the mental health world, it's a miracle that he's getting in-home. He has regular insurance, not Medicaid, and it's usually not covered, and we are the first family in Virginia to have it by Anthem. Blessed beyond measure. And so shout out to Anthem and shout out to Virginia for doing that for us. And anyway, I was sitting down with her and we were talking about things that we were going to do with him, and as I was talking to her, and he was talking to her, and then we let him go in another room, and she stopped me and she said, "Rachel," she said, "do you realize, like, all of those things that you mentioned or he mentioned that you guys want to work on, him processing, like, you've gone through too?" I said, "Well, yeah, like, absolutely, but I'm a grown-up, and I, she stopped me, she said, "It doesn't matter how old you are." She said, "Life is hard." And I really appreciated that, and we just kind of talked through some of those things, but I thought, yeah. And so I told her about this conference, and I told her about my journey, and I told her how I was working on loving myself, and I want you to know that I am working on it. I think for a minute I forgot again to just love myself. I forgot that I was worth it's okay to say, I need somebody to be proud to stand next to me. If it's important to me for somebody to write me a note and say, "Hey, I care about you," it's okay to wait till I find that person. If it's important to me to, I don't know, dedicate a song over the radio, it's okay till I wait for that person. And until then, I've got to be okay with being by myself. And a friend of mine said the other day, she said, "Rachel, you were just so happy when it was you and your apartment and your kids, and you were doing well." And she's right. But we're human, and we want interaction and relationship, and I don't know, and so I just want to tell you that I wasn't doing a good job of just truly being okay with me. Again, I was starting to judge myself, look at my body and being like, "Ugh, I don't like that stomach," or "Ugh, I don't like those wrinkles around my eyes," all to please somebody that I don't even know cared what I looked like at the end of the day. But I was beating myself up. For what? So don't do that. We gotta stop. Valentine's Day's coming next week, and I don't know how you do Valentine's Day at your house. I don't know if it's a big deal. I don't know if you just wait for somebody, some Prince Charming, to bring you something. I had 19 years of a guaranteed Valentine, and I didn't like it. But this year, I have been already planning what I do for my kids. I have, the 6 boys, as I've told you, and 1 girl, and I always make a really big deal about Valentine's Day with them, because I want to make sure that they just know how to love somebody out loud. And so I've been working on that, and it hit me like a ton of bricks this year that I always say I hate Valentine's Day, but I don't think that's true. Valentine's Day is made for people like me. These hopeless romantics that are out here that love loving people. Like, I can't even tell you, like, if you're in my life, like if you're in my circle, you already know who I am. You know how I am. You know what I'll do for my people, but I want that done for me. And I'm not saying that I need gifts in particular, but like, I need outward expressions of some sort to just say, hey, I love you. And I'm not saying on Valentine's Day, but I do want it once in a while. And if it takes Valentine's Day just to remind somebody to tell me, okay, and so Valentine's Day's kind of made for me. And I thought, like, that's a whole new way to look at it. Like, it's okay that, like, it's set up to remind those husbands that are kind of clueless, or those women that, like, have a hard time, like, getting things put together, or, those loves that are brand new. Like, what an exciting day. I had already worked on something for somebody, and I don't know, I had so much fun and heartfelt thought put into it, and I don't know, I think it's okay. And so, love is such a word that's so important. I don't throw it around. Like, if I love someone, like, I love them. Because love is something that's forever. It's not sometimes. Or, a girlfriend and me and I, we talked about, like, the levels of love, but, like, Valentine's just a day, and it comes and it goes, and my kids are all excited about their Valentine boxes and those little cards. But I remember when I was a kid, and I'd bring those boxes home, and, like, you just looked at those little cards that, like, all that had was the kid's name on it. But, like, if you got it from, like, Jack, and you had a crush on Jack, like, you really thought he picked you to give that card to. So maybe, like, I'm encouraging you today to, like, I don't know, maybe do a Valentine for somebody that just needs a little pick-me-up. Maybe that's what we should all do, is pick somebody that we know needs a pick-me-up, and then maybe give a little Valentine to yourself. Like, do something. Things have been hard, like I told you. Like, a lot of financial stuff came up all at one time, and then I had money stolen from me, and that's just a horrible feeling. I don't know if you've ever had that happen, but it's like violating. And I just went and got my nails painted, and my girl, she painted my nails, and shout out to DL Nails in Daleville. They do a great job. Tita, shout out. And I just did it because it makes me feel good about myself, and I had a really crummy couple of days with someone, and my heart was kind of aching. And so that's my Valentine gift to myself, like, to remind myself that, like, I'm my own kind of beautiful. Like, that's what makes me feel good. And so just do that. Because we're all worthy, and we're all worth something. So I just remind you to do that. I'm happy to tell you that, like, life is good. Like, even on really bad days, life is good. And, when I walk into my house and I see my kids, or if I'm able to lay in my bed, or take a bath, the things that I love. Like, this weekend, I have plans with some friends, like, things that I really like to do makes me happy. Before I stop, and I've got to go because I've got to work, but I struggle with some depression off and on, and like one thing that's a sign of my depression is like I take my bracelets off because I kind of feel like I'm smothering. And so if I'm starting to get sad, I start taking my jewelry off because I really like jewelry. And girls, like, I have all of my jewelry on for the first time in like 2 months. Like, I'm getting there. And so let's do it, like, together. Like, you too, like, figure out like what you need to do to get back to that point. Like, if you're saying to me like I messed up, like I backed up, I was back to like pointing it out, then get back. I have a friend, and she posted this video on her wall, and it said, every time you go through a doorway, think something positive about yourself. And then, the video basically was saying, like, you'd be saying something positive about yourself, like, over and over and over. I did it yesterday, and it was, not every time, obviously, but I kept trying. Like, that's huge. Huge. So try that. Because if you're saying something positive about yourself over and over and over, it's really hard to then turn around and say something negative. Because that positive gets ingrained in your head. And then, if you're really having a hard time getting rid of that ugly or that negative, call on those friends. Remember I told you, like those roots of your tree. Because at the beginning of the week, I pulled up at my apartment complex and I was really down. And I called my very best friend and I said I was crying and I was down and like just ugly. And I called my friend and I said, please. And remember I told you, like, those ugly words will just come out that we paint on ourselves or people paint on us. And I called and I said, I don't understand why people don't want me. I mean, it was pitiful. Stupid. But I was really believing it, and I called and I said, I don't understand why people don't want me, like I'm so good to them. I can cook and I can clean and I take care of and I give and I give and I give. I mean, poor, pitiful me. And she said, Rachel, it has nothing to do with you. Right. It has nothing to do with me. I have to love myself for who I am. And if somebody doesn't love me for who I am, then I don't want them. I don't want them in my life. I don't want to deal with them at all. No. And so you don't either. Like, good luck to them, but keep moving. I'm a heck of a person. You are a heck of a person. Keep doing you. Be real. Love your people and love yourself. Please come Saturday. It's on Facebook, Serenity Counseling, RSVP, or you can contact me through YouTube, Facebook, and we'll hook you up. I hope to see you. I'd love to meet you. Bye.